Sue Johnston lives in Warrington with her son Joel. After working as an actress for 20 years, she finally found fame as working-class heroine Sheila Grant in Brookside.
I think a lot of people see me as a northern working-class woman, and I think that is me. I think the basis of what I am is that. But I now have privilege attached to it, you know, recently in these last few years of my life. But I know where I come from, and I know where I'm comfortable.
Sue's grandfather, Alf Cowan, has always been central to her sense of identity. But she's heard stories about him that suggest his background was anything but working class.
I can't quite get in my head that he came from this hotel, had, I think, a private school education, maybe. I think that probably I'm old enough now to accept if he was very right-wing. I'm old enough to understand where all these things come from. I'm not going to suddenly be ashamed and think, why did I ever think he was a god?
Sue wants to find out the truth about her grandfather. But first, old friend and Brookside colleague Dean Sullivan is coming for Sunday lunch.
Well, here's to the chef, Joel.
Well done. Cheers. Lovely.
Nice one.
Cheers, Mummy.
And when I finish this, I'm off on a journey. Oh, yeah, wow, gosh.
Where's it?
I'm going to find out about my grandfather.
Your dad's?
My
your
mum's
dad's dad or your
dad.
your mum's dad, fine,
Yeah.
from Cumbria, yeah.
One who drove the
on
on the railways. And I'm going off to find out whether my granddad ever really did drive the Flying Scotsman.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
And
But where did that come from anyway?
well, I think that he did.
That he did, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The first step of Sue's journey is taking her to the National Railway Museum in York.
Well, I feel really excited about going to see the, I was going to say, going to see the Flying Scotsman in the flesh. You see, I don't know how anybody could get affectionate about a diesel train, but something about these old steam trains that I just love them. And mourn their passing, really. Look at that one. That must... Actually, I suppose you can love a diesel train. Look at it. Oh, it's the Eurostar. Oh, God, it's electric. Look at these. Oh, this is a very famous old... Look at it. Oh, it's fantastic.
The Flying Scotsman isn't displayed in the main museum because it's still used on short runs for tourists. At the moment, it's in the workshop being repaired.
The wheels. Oh, my God, it's the Flying Scotsman. Look at these wheels. Oh. How lucky am I to come? Oh gosh, it's extraordinary. I can feel the testosterone. The seats here, it's a bit like being a pilot, and they would be shoveling the coal in. Look at the size of this spanner. Oh God, I can't even lift it. I think what's amazing is that this is an extraordinary job to have, and you can understand why every little boy in the world wanted to be an engine driver, just to see the power in here and the sense of being in control of this. And yet, my grandpa was all very self-contained, you know, he didn't walk around like... he was just a very gentle, quiet man.
Few people know more about railway history than Alan Pegler, the man who saved the Flying Scotsman from the scrap heap in 1963.
Alan. Hi, Sue. Hello. I've got dirty hands because I've
all
been
right.
on that footplate.
Worry not.
How are you?
Well, I'm fine. I'm just not as mobile as I'd like, but otherwise I'm very good.
You're all right
very
here,
good
are you?
Yeah, great. Plenty of things to hold on to. Nice view of the old girl.
What do you think of her?
Oh, absolutely superb, marvellous. And of course, as I say, They are all female anyway. So maybe the Flying Scotsman, but it's still the old girl.
Yes, absolutely. So when did you...
The only way Alf could have driven the Flying Scotsman is if it ran on the same line he worked on.
The company that my grandfather worked for was the LMS.
London, Midland and Scottish.
But now, is there any chance that that locomotive, the Flying Scotsman, ever would have been used on that line?
Well, that is LNER, the London North Eastern Railway, and the
Right.
chances are absolutely minimal. I can't say it's absolutely impossible, but very, very unlikely.
Okay, so I've got to swallow my disappointment.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
It's a very popular misconception, and an awful lot of people get the idea because they perhaps got family connections going back many years, that they've probably got a family connection association with that locomotive. But in 99 times out of 100, it really, I'm afraid, is not true. It's a shame, but there we go.
It's a shame. Okay, I'll join the other 99%, I think, then. If I hadn't found out the truth, of course, I would have passed this on to my son, who would have carried the myth on to his kids, and they would have gone to museums to look at Grandpa's train, and then they'd have gone, she was lying all those years ago. But I thought he was a god. So a god has to drive the best train in the world, and that, to me, was the Flying Scotsman. So now you've ruined my life. Where do I go from here?